course, we are called as believers, not just prophets, but as believers. We are supposed to be emanating, according to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, we're supposed to be emanating the fragrance of God. So we definitely have to make sure, it is imperative that we as prophets, prophetic people, it is our responsibility to make sure that our vessel, our apothecary, is fly free. Yes. So that we will not find ourselves in a predicament where we are uttering or making those declarations from a contaminated place.
In Antioch,
Yes.
the text says, and they taught the assembly, watch this, a whole year. They taught the assembly a whole year. Okay. That was the teaching ministry. 2 chapters later, in chapter 13, that was, it says, and now that we're in Antioch, apostles and teachers and prophets, etc. And they names, and then of course they consecrated Barnabas and Saul, by the way. But that waiting period was not a wasted period. That was the training and those gifts that we see 2 chapters later, whatever time period, came from those who were teachable, who were the acronym FAT. Faithful, available, and teachable.
Can it affect other areas in our life?
Absolutely. It affects, not only does it affect how you show up. So whenever you get stuck in your stuff, you can't move forward. And being stuck in a situation that frustrates you is not going to serve you. So the key to, after you identify the stuff, is deciding whether or not you're going to stay stuck in the stuff. So I could have gotten so bent out of shape about my hair not doing what I thought it should have, could have, would have done, that I said, you know what, Kelly, I can't do the show today because my hair is tripping. Right? And that would have had a ripple effect on you, me, our reputation. We would have robbed the people who are hearing us and supporting this today and needing to hear a word of encouragement and liberation and help, dealing with their stuff. They wouldn't have gotten it. Why? Because I didn't like the way my hair was. I mean,
come on.
Yeah, you've got to put stuff in the right perspective. Some stuff is not worth sweating over. I love the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, because what you realize is that it's all small stuff.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with Kelly. I am your hostess with the mostest, as I say, Kelly Spencer, and I'm glad that you just took time out of your busy schedule on this Sunday to eavesdrop a little bit on a awesome conversation that we are about to have. Again, thank you for joining us. Do me a favor. Make sure, like, share, tag, and put in the comments where you're watching from. Let me know that you're watching. And if you holler at me, I'll holler back at you. All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us. And I am super excited that I get to have my sister on today. I have known this young woman for many, many years, and I have always been impressed by her wisdom, her zeal and zest for God and the people of God. And I will give her a proper introduction in a minute. But today's topic is taking charge of your health. I'll say that again, taking charge of your health. And everybody has had someone that they know, or either you yourself, someone who has faced an illness, faced a health challenge or crisis. And today we are going to talk to someone who will give us a holistic but biblical expertise in terms of how we can be healthier, how we can be better stewards of our body. Amen. All right. So again, thank you for joining us. And again, let me know who's watching. I love to see where you're watching from. I always give a shout out to one viewer is way over in the UK that every so often will come on and view and eavesdrop on the conversation. We've had Maryland and Virginia. So again, just give me a shout out. All right. So now again, today's topic is taking charge of your health. I will be transparent and let you know that in 2017, I faced a major health crisis to the point where right before they had to rush me into emergency surgery, the doctor told me, not the family, but me, we don't know if you're going to make it. And so that was my light bulb moment in terms of taking charge of my health. I'm not going to, go into a lot of details, but needless to say, God restored, and I've met people like my guest today who gave me godly wisdom to get my health back on track. And so that's what I want to impart into you today. So my guest today is Mrs. She's a Mrs. now, LaShanna Moore. She is a playwright, a psalmist, a humanitarian. She's a champion supporter of causes like human sex trafficking, and more importantly, holistic living. She is the daughter of my spiritual mother and father, Bishop Larry, and Mother Dorothy Leonard. She is the wife of gospel extraordinaire Jean Moore. She is a graduate of the University of Houston and Trinity Natural Health. So she's just not talking the talk, she is walking the walk. She's founder of Holistically Well LLC. So again, welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Pastor Kelly. Thank you so much. I call her Pastor Kelly for those of you who may not be familiar with that term. She will forever and always be Pastor Kelly. Thank you for
I
having
know
me.
it. Wow. Do you realize that I met you in 1996
Oh gosh.
when I
96.
96 when I joined Morning Star in 96.
So I
Yes,
was in college.
yeah, you were
Oh,
going to U of H, and you had the
yes.
little yellow car. What did you call the car?
Tweety
Yes,
Bird.
yes,
Many moons
yes,
ago. Oh my God.
yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, and we really became closer as we worked with your mom with the
Yes.
Young Women of Excellence,
Women of
teaching
excellence. Yes, ma'am.
chastity classes. Oh, and I still have the VHS tape of when we were on TBN talking about the praise party.
I need I need to get that converted to digital. Oh my God.
I
I
do
would
too. I
love
just
to
don't know
see that.
I don't know how to do it.
I'll help you
Well, I
out.
know
I
you have connections.
yes, yes. I will
We'll,
definitely hook you up with that.
we'll make it happen. But that's how long it's been. And let
Oh
me tell you, for those of you all that don't know, again, this young lady is and always will be on fire for God. So
wow.
welcome, LaShanna.
Thank you, my Pastor Kelly. It is my honor to be with you, and congratulations on everything that you are doing, for saying yes to the call, and for inspiring us and being such a motivation, and for being forever the beautiful woman that you are inside for sure, but on the outside, you just don't change. You do not change. It's just a privilege to watch
Yeah,
one another journey through this life.
it, it
Been there
is.
with me
It
and
is.
for me in very pivotal times. So
Yeah.
allow me to publicly say thank you.
Well, thank you, because I've called you in times of like, what do I do? What do you
We've
think
had
about
some
that?
talk, right? Right.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Well, let's just jump out
Okay.
full swing, full motion. Tell us what happened, or what was the circumstance that brought you into this holistic living journey?
Absolutely. Cue the background music, please, and begin. So it goes a little something like this. It was not something that I was looking for. My background is performing arts. I went to school, graduate of University of Houston, go Cougs, with
Right.
a double major in dance, theater, and
Right,
music,
right,
and a
right.
major in education. And so I was working full time, going full steam ahead in performing arts, all things performing arts. I was preparing for, just going to make the story short, but I was preparing for a Canada tour that was going to take place. We were going to be touring Canada, and so I hired a personal trainer because I wanted to make sure that my body was in good optimal shape for the run of this tour. Hired a guy. Side note, didn't ask any questions, as you always should. Just assumed. The gentleman had a natural physique, so I assumed that he knew what he was doing. Right. But one day, one training session that changed my life forever, and the gentleman misfacilitated a movement and ruptured my Achilles tendon. So I had surgery, rehab, physical therapy, and I had just opened up my first dance studio. I ended up going on to the conservatory, which I was very thankful for, but I had just started with my phase 1, which was a small dance studio that was located inside of the gym. Had just opened it, and I was distraught and I was depressed because I couldn't move. I had a lot of muscle atrophy. The voices say to me, "Do not fret. I have something for you. Trust in me."
Wow.
And so my recovery started, of course, through physical therapy and rehab, but then from there, nutrition, because I wasn't ready to start moving yet. And I was teaching dance from the chair. I had a boot on. Some of y'all remember the boot. If you know me, you may remember the boot, crutches. And I went into nutrition, and then eventually personal training, into fitness. And so every level of skill that I have acquired has had a story attached to it. Sometimes you don't want to be a poster child for the message that you're responsible for, but sometimes, as God would have it, if we know the nature of our God, it happens in such a way. And so it just elevated from there. And I would, every time a skill would be added, I would go back to school for it. I'm not the kind of person that feels like university or degrees are necessary for everything.
Right.
In my line of work, where you're working with people are trusting you with their health vulnerabilities, with their bodies and things of that nature, I think it is absolutely a must. So I would go back to school for each credential that was needed. And as of now, it has been fitness, nutrition, holistic health, herbal medicine, and the endocannabinoid system. So that is my story in short, and here I am.
Well, you just said a big word for a lot of people. They're going, "What in the world?" Break that word down for us.
Oh, the last word, the endocannabinoid system.
Yes.
So to make a long story short, the endocannabinoid system is a relative biological system in our body. It regulates and balances most of our key functions. And it is a system that our physicians are not required to learn about as a necessity for learning about the physiology of the body, but it is a major part of the body. Our energy, our balance, even our appetite stimulation comes from this. And for those of you who may be more fluent or understand the world of cannabis, there is a correlation with cannabis and the endocannabinoid system. And so that's one of my areas. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it was so multifaceted.
It really is.
Eating healthy, no, getting rid of this, and then you start eating that. but it's much more to it than that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have some good conversation today, you all. There is a lot of meat on the bones of health and wellness that can challenge us, inspire us, continue us on in a well-balanced journey. And so learning about the endocannabinoid system was one of them.
Wow. Well, we definitely are believers. And
Yes.
so we know that in the Word, God kind of
Yes.
outlined certain things that we were supposed to stay away from in terms of eating, and certain things that we should partake of. Give us just one or two examples of the biblical way of eating healthy.
Yeah, when it comes to what the Bible says about diet, what the Bible says about food, I really believe that it is a more expansive understanding than sometimes we understand it to be. We streamline certain scriptures, but if you think about culture, context, location, time, and lifestyle in the biblical times, we can also see how that has thrusted us in a variety of eating style for present day as well. And so the Bible doesn't always specifically address specific foods, but it cultivates our attitude toward food, toward the body, toward consumption. Of course, Leviticus, again, because of context and culture and practice. Books like Leviticus points out very specific things, whether it was a priestly responsibility or of the responsibility of the people. But you have scriptures like 1 Corinthians chapter 6 that talks about all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. So I like to also consider, hey, V, I like to also consider scriptures like that as a guideline to help us understand the thinking process about food. And then that way we don't get ourselves locked into this legalistic idea of what we should have and what we should not have.
Gotcha. Because I know a lot of churches at the beginning of the year, I believe it is, go on the Daniel fast.
Right. A lot of churches will do the Daniel fast, which is nothing wrong, with the Daniel fast. We used to do Daniel fast at our church as well. And it is definitely an opportunity to clear the body, cleanse the body, clear the mind, and sacrifice or crucify the flesh while we are strengthening the spirit. I think if we look at all of these things from a holistic perspective, we can see some sustainability in certain things, just kind of based on how it's introduced or how it's taught. But Daniel fast is an example, again, based on the perspective that the leader presents it. Daniel fast is a wonderful opportunity to reboot, to reset, to reconnect.
Yes.
Kind of get yourself in alignment and command attention of your soul to really get some clarity with God.
And being in at the same church and going through the Daniel fast, it always took my growth to another level.
Yeah, it was. It's such a great example of the empowering of the Holy Spirit that we can experience when we are willing to turn our plate down, or whatever it is you're sacrificing, when we crucify our flesh, when we hide ourselves behind the cross, and we are seeking God. We are going before Him for no other reason but to draw near. If we can remember the moments that we experienced during the Daniel fast throughout the year, then I think we can draw a closer connection and understanding why doing things like that can be so helpful for us.
And fasting, whether you do 2 days, 10 days, 21 days, it's not about the length. It's not about saying, "Oh, I fasted for 21 days. Look at me, I'm super Christian."
Because you got to come off that fast too.
Exactly.
You got to figure that. You got to figure out post fast.
Now talk about that. Talk about that because that is important. Because I'll just put myself out there, being a really, really, really new babe in Christ, and I was
Yeah.
gung ho. I'm going to fast, and I'm going to do this thing. Why did I eat a big pot of
Yeah.
red beans and rice after I finished the fast? Let's just say that was not the smartest thing to do.
Right. You know, and honestly, I don't know if a lot of time has been spent on preparing to exit a fast. What
Yes.
life looks like post fast. How we what to expect. Because listen, we are flesh and blood, and you're going when you fast. You're not only crucifying your flesh, but we're going against a natural biological physiological cycle. So the body is ready, because the body, I just did a podcast on this the other day when it comes to the war on weight loss, that the body knows that it is not supposed to allow you to lose weight. So when we are depriving the body of food, and that's a deeper statement. I don't want
Right.
There's a deeper explanation to that. But when you're depriving your body of food, number one, physiologically, it's ready. It has sent chemicals to the brain to tell the stomach, you need to refuel. We are in famine mode, and we need fuel for energy, and we need to keep this body alive. So compare that, or couple that with what you're already experiencing in your soulish realm, whatever kind of cravings, or you haven't had carbs, so your body doesn't have any energy fed to the muscle. There's a lot of things going on. And so when you come off of a fast, you want to start slowly reintroducing your body to food, just in small increments, easily digestible foods, because your digestive system has altered during that time. The way your body absorbs and digests food. It also affects your bowel movements. And so you want to just kind of ease your way. So I think sometimes that it's just a part of teaching and understanding, because truth is, when we come off of a fast, all of us are ready to eat. I don't care how holy and consecrated you are. You're ready to eat.
Yes. And I wanted those red beans and rice.
Listen, you went in on them, huh?
Yeah, that was not the smartest thing to do.
That's so funny.
But I think more teaching should be done on the preparation for it, and being wise.
Yes.
I never forget, Bishop taught us, if you have to take medication with food, take the medication with food.
Right. Absolutely.
Then, there's other ways to do the fast.
Yes.
But we did have a question. I don't want to lose track of it. Hey, Fitz, he said, is there a specific time and place to fast?
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you for that. It's really based, well, you have to consider what kind of fast you're going to do. I think we automatically think of food when we are considering fasting. Fasting is most beneficial when you step back and assess your life and what it is that you need to sacrifice. So based on the type of fast that you feel called, you feel led to do, then you sit down and you kind of chart out what that needs to look like. And again, it is based on what you are sacrificing. We don't want to assume that it is food. And when we fast, the primary goal is to draw closer to God. The benefits are the byproduct of it. We don't go into a fast with a list of things that we want to do. We want to lose weight. We want to gain weight. We want to do this. We want to do that. We want to go into a fast with wisdom and with the primary intention to draw near to God and to sacrifice our soulish realm so that we can hear him clear and really advance and mature our spiritual walk.
And also, you kind of touched on it just a little bit. It is to draw us closer to God, But when we are in the midst of a spiritual battle, it
Mm-hmm.
also prepares us spiritually to fight that battle.
So many things. Fasting can be a very interesting experience. The beginning faster can have, hey, Sister Bertha, the beginning faster can have a certain experience with God. The intermediate faster, the advanced faster, the believer who is off of the milk and on the meat. And I'm saying these things because you can have a fasting experience where you don't feel anything. You can have a high holy time in fasting where you're journaling and you're hearing God and things just seem to be kicking off on all cylinders. And you can have a period of fasting where it seems very quiet. So I think that we have to be very open when we go into a fast. And then there's sometimes the Holy Spirit will call us to a fast.
Absolutely. And the word does tell us, I can't think where it'll come to me. It is in the Bible that says this kind comes out by nothing but fasting and prayer. So there is a time for fasting to be used to hear clearly from God, strategic strategy.
Yeah.
To overcome and defeat the enemy.
Absolutely. Yeah. It does. It's a weapon. It is an opportunity. It is a privilege. It is an open door of access. It is our right to go before God in this way. And if we're living in such a hostile climate as we are, as the Bible says, we should be making it a lifestyle of not just prayer, but of fasting. Yeah. My windows are right here, and the sun is, as the sun kind of shifts, the screen is gonna light.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. And we had another question. What are the right or best set of food to eat to gain or achieve a healthy body?
You ready to go into that, Pastor Kelly? You want to hold on that? Or are you ready to go into it?
Actually, you know what? That is a good point because we are going to talk about that a little bit later. So we'll bring that question right back to you.
Thank you for being ready. They're ready.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, Dr. Bertha Dunn. Is there a difference between how men and women process, store, or eliminate toxins or food?
Yes, to a degree. It's one of those examples of just how unique both sexes are. We have some similarities like our organs, but we have some differences as well, such as our hormones and the way that our hormones function, the way that they work. And so there is, because of that because of the hormones, and the level of each hormone that men and women possess: estrogen, progesterone, oestrogen, testosterone, women having 3 different types of estrogen, men having a certain percentage of estrogen, women also having a certain percentage of testosterone, mainly because of our hormone health. And the way that our metabolism works, metabolic health, which is linked to those hormones and linked to our muscle, then it does prove to differentiate the way that our bodies digest food. Did I answer that question? Is that the question that you?
Yes. And basically, me being a female, know that it's a little bit more difficult sometimes for us to lose the little 10 pounds.
Yes.
My brother.
It does not always seem fair that
no.
For the most part, just speaking in general health, because as men and women age, things change for both of us too. But in general, it doesn't seem very fair that oftentimes a man can set off to, to lose these 10 pounds, and he's going to do X, Y, and Z, and he does it. Meanwhile, at the ranch, the woman is on this journey. 3 weeks and maybe a month goes by, and 2 months, and she's still, striving and trying to be committed to the task. And it can be challenging. And to our credit, there are additional factors that can slow down weight loss for us if the goal is to lose weight. It could be health related. It could be genetic, our predisposition to certain things. It could be hormonal shifts. It could be an endocrine, an endocrine disorder, which affects your development, your reproductive health. And when I say reproductive health, I'm not just talking about babies. Our reproductive health covers a variety of things that our body needs, but our hormones can be a big factor in how our body metabolizes and how we lose weight. And medications can be a big part of that as well.
Absolutely. I never knew that just going through the phases of being a teenager.
Yes, ma'am.
And dealing with those hormones. And now that I'm on the other end, post-menopause.
Yes.
Different hormones.
It is different. It is absolutely different. It is something that women should not be ashamed of. It's a rite of passage. I am in my perimenopause season, and I will tell women that it is highly different. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be a doctor. You can be a fitness trainer. You can be a quote unquote guru. Your body is going to go through the changes. You're going to have to learn your body all over again. It will be a frustrating journey. We do not get to bypass it. It is a graduation in life, but it can be a challenging one. Number one, because physicians, like we were talking about the endocannabinoid system earlier, physicians are not required to learn about perimenopause and menopause. It is not a requirement.
They are not required?
No, it's not. It's not a part of the curriculum, to their credit. Wow. It's not a part of their curriculum. It's not a part of what they are required to learn. So that means that when you go to a doctor about some hormonal changes that you see, or just some changes that are happening internally and externally, you have the right to ask your doctor and, script how you're going to ask it so it doesn't come off offensive, but you can, or look it up before you go to that doctor if they are trained. If they are trained in menopause, if they are trained in this facet of hormone health, or if they have had patients that they have worked with who are in perimenopause, postmenopause, because they're not, they're not required to understand that.
And I thought because it was part of the natural process of life that they would at least have some training, some knowledge, or be required to be able to guide me.
Right. Not necessarily so. Yeah.
I started in my 30s and I thought I was losing my I kept saying that I'm normally a very pleasant, mild-mannered person. It takes a whole lot to get my feathers ruffled, but when you do, it's a porcupine.
Right.
But I kept finding myself, at those porcupine moments, like real quick. And
absolutely, then, short fuse.
Always had long hair. Then the hair started thinning, and then the gray, and then the things that would salute now are at parade rest.
Yes,
and no matter what I would do, exercise. Yeah, and I just refused. Now this is just me. I'm not advising. And by the way, I forgot to give this disclaimer. We are not doctors prescribing or diagnosing anything. If anything we are doing, we're just giving you knowledge and understanding from a holistic perspective. Go see your doctor.
Absolutely.
But that was just me. I did not want to take all the medication and the things that they want. I just did. That was just me.
Yeah. It's emotional, mental, physical, psychological, spiritual.
Very much so. Very much so.
It is not an overnight thing. It is a journey. There are women, like you said, that may kick off in their 30s, and sometimes, again, based on your health background and perceptions, that women enter into perimenopause early, or they enter into menopause. Pass go, collect $200, like Monopoly says, and go straight. Or should I say post-menopause, because menopause is actually a one-day event. But there's so many different cases. It makes me think about the scripture of us being beautifully and wonderfully made, because we are so intricate, and we are so different and so unique. These pausy seasons, I call them, really exemplify that, because you can have two women in the same season having a completely different experience. Yeah.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that pausy women in a little bit. I love that when I saw that. Love. Yeah. So what advice would you tell a woman who may be experiencing the thinning hair and, the weight gain, the night sweats, and all of these things? When is it time to see your doctor? We talked about going to the doctor, but when would you say it's a must that you need to go?
Well, the first thing I would do is confirm her. I would affirm her first, that she's not crazy. She's not overthinking it. It's not all in your head. If you are your first doctor without the white coat, you know when something is changing. You know when something is off. I will encourage women to start writing down what they're feeling, what they're seeing. You can even date it and time it if you want to kind of create like a tracking or a pattern. Some things may be patterns, some things may not. But you can log it. I encourage women to log it, because number one, that helps you to remember, because brain fog is a thing too. You'd be like, now what did I come in here for? Now, I know I just what?
Oh, wait. I have one better. You pick up the phone and you're about to hit a dial, and it's like, why did I dial this person?
All the things, okay? Brothers, pray for us. We probably need to do an episode so that men understand. But men go through their own, called andropause. So they go through a thing all to themselves as well. But
are you serious? I just thought it was just something comical, like they're going through their cycle.
They go through their things. But, hey, daddy, my daddy's on. Yeah, men go through a pause call. It's my daddy, everybody.
Hello, Bishop. Good to see you, sir.
They have andropause, where their metabolism is changing, their hormones are changing. They usually accumulate weight around the stomach. But for us, going back to your question, I would tell the woman, first of all, whenever something is off, and instead of you trying to figure it out by yourself, go ahead and set the appointment. We have a tendency to just tolerate pain, and we have a tendency to just feel abnormal. We have a tendency to just deal with, you hear us say things like, I have a high tolerance for pain. I handled it. Months and years with this kind of pain until ... So you have the right to go to the doctor as soon as you feel like something is changing. Coupled with that, I would say, make sure that you're logging, you're making notation, you're journaling things down, so that this helps you, of course, remember, but it also helps you to articulate what your needs are and what you're feeling when you have your appointment with your doctor. You can be very specific, you can pinpoint things. And even if you're not able to describe it, we'll use sounds or adjectives like, this was a burn, a pinch, a pull. I feel bloating. I feel a heaviness here. I feel tightness here. This happens to me in the mornings. This happens every night. This happens during I get a sluggish fatigue feeling that I can't shake. It's important to write things down. And so that's what I encourage. As soon as you feel something is different, you don't have to wait. it's going to take some rewiring possibly for
The
some.
thought processes. Yes, yes, yes.
You don't have to suffer through anything. Go on and set the appointment.
And I love what you said, that first you would affirm.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That you're not crazy, that
Yeah.
this is just part of the rite of passage of
So,
womanhood. And
yeah.
men, we affirm you as well.
Yes.
Go to the doctor
Yes.
when you're experiencing your changes, your mood and physique, and all of the above.
Right. Yeah. I would like to tell people to have a well-rounded health team, because one doctor is not specialized in everything. I believe in building the bridge from allopathic conventional medicine with holistic medicine. You need both of them.
Yes,
I know
yes,
you hear
yes.
sometimes on the holistic side an extremity of teaching, and you hear stories and not testimonies, but stories and grievances on the other side of conventional. There has to be a middle ground, and you need both. So you want your physician, you want your specialist for each area that they are specialized to provide, and then you want a nutritionist or a dietitian or a holistic practitioner or a naturopathic doctor. You want a well-rounded team, because your pediatrician can't service you at 60. Not with what your 60-year-old body needs. And your neurologist can't help you in ways that your dermatologist can.
Could. Yes.
So we have to allow ourselves to have an orchestra, an array, a team of those who are helping us take care of these bodies, because they are aging, they're changing, they do what they do. Mm-hmm. Instead of fighting it, we need to just take the time to learn it so that we can bring ourselves in harmony with these new bodies. This 47-year-old body is not the same girl that she was at 20 or 30. So instead of fighting it, I'm like, okay, sis, what you need? What's going on today? Why you? What is it? What we need to do?
That's right. That's right. And look, the days of being the youth pastor and being dunked in the dunk tank.
Listen. Yes. As the meme says on social media, get somebody else to do it.
That part.
Get somebody else to do it.
No, but that is wisdom, because you're right. We tend to think that one doctor is going to be the end all, be all, know it all, help us through it all. Yes. And so what you're saying is have balance, have a team that can each one, and it's just like a football team. Yeah. They have a conditioning coach. They have, this kind of a coach, a defense.
Yes, ma'am.
So with us, with our physical bodies, we need to have the same type of team. And I love that analogy. Love it, love it, love it.
I'll say that for the men too, since I do see you have some men who are joining. It may be woman driven, but in a lot of ways and efforts for our men as well, you need the very same thing. You need that support of a holistic, which is just total, the totality, all of our being. We are an ecosystem. Yeah. One part of us does not work independently of the other. That's what makes God such a genius creator of body, is that he knew how much we would need for the various parts of our body. And I cannot hold my body hostage from what it needs, because I'm trying to shut off the right side.
Yes. And Bishop just said, this is supposed to be educational. Y'all having too much fun.
Education is fun, Dad.
Yes, sir. Well, we talked a little bit earlier, or touched on like vitamins and things like that. What vitamins or herbs would you recommend to help build the immune system? You know, everybody is experiencing allergies and things like that within the last few years. What would
Yeah.
you recommend to help build up the immune system?
I'm going to give you a really good one that I started sharing with others during COVID, and it is called glutathione.
Okay.
Glutathione. Again,
Mm-hmm.
GLU, glue,
Mm-hmm.
TATH, excuse me, IONE, glutathione. It is an antioxidant slash immune response. It helps to free radicals that contribute to aging, that contribute to many of diseases. It helps to reduce symptoms in the body that can be as a result of the immune system breaking down. It is definitely an immune builder. It is also a stress stabilizer. It is an all-in-one powerhouse. Our immune system is linked to a lot of different executive functions of the body. And what I like about the glutathione is that it has a relatively safe profile, which means yes, it right. Tell him B, which means that it can take care of a lot of things at once, even if you are on a medication. Now, with that being said, of course, always tell your doctor, hey, I'm considering adding
Yes.
glutathione in my
Yes.
artillery. What do you think
Yes.
about this? Is this something that
Yes.
you would approve of me using, even though it's a safe profile? It's something that you still
Yes.
want
Yes.
to
Consult your doctor.
yeah,
Absolutely.
because we know about the vitamin C, vitamin D, which is great as well. But I thought about glutathione because a lot of people still are not very familiar with it, and it is such a game changer when it comes to building immunity, but also building defense in our body for other invaders that may
Yes.
happen. Don't always come with symptoms.
Yes. Yes. And Fitz just asked a question. Do you mind putting it in the chat, please?
Oh, okay.
Yes, we will put it in the chat for you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll type that in.
This has been educational, excuse me, inspirational so far. Uh,
Excellent.
I see someone put it in there. All right. Excuse me. Good, good, good. And as you can see, the the allergies I am dealing with at this time. So that was
Mhm.
a personal question. To definitely, what would you recommend to help? Because it
Quercetin
seems,
would be good for that, Pastor Kelly.
what is it?
Quercetin, I'll put that in the chat as well.
Okay.
Um, it's a great supplement for environmental allergies or
Okay.
allergies that you acquire just seemingly random out of the clear.
Out of the
It is
clear
another,
blue.
yes, it is another supplement that has a relatively safe profile that you
Okay.
can
Okay.
utilize with other vitamins and if you are on a medication as well.
Got it. Got it. Well, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. I had a
Now,
few. I'm not a big allergy person. I had a few allergy hiccups this summer because this was a different kind of
a
summer.
different, it was very much so different.
Yeah, the climate, the global change and global warming and the climate change really showed out. My husband has severe environmental allergies. Houston is high in mold, so
Yes.
he takes the
Yes.
quercetin, and
Yes.
it can be
Yes.
very helpful.
Okay. Okay.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
for those, now this is brothers, you just have to sit tight for 1 second. This is for the females. What type of vitamin or herbs would you recommend that will thicken or regrow hair?
Hmm. I'm going to go back to the glutathione, number one.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Glutathione is very instrumental in rebuilding hair follicles, cells that die because of what's called oxidative stress. When the body, for whatever reasons, many times you don't even realize it because, and it's not a matter of being healthy or unhealthy because even athletes can experience this. But when the body, certain cells in the body are deprived from oxygen, and your body is under extreme oxidative stress, so you are experiencing a lot of inflammation, a lot of fatigue. That can be a debilitating factor. But glutathione is very helpful with restoring hair, skin, and nails. You pretty much use it as directed when you buy it. Biotin also is a great supplement slash vitamin. You want to make sure when you get these supplements that the main ingredient is exactly what you're looking for. So biotin, when you're buying biotin, if you can get a biotin that is 100% just biotin, then you can do that. Sometimes it will come with additional vitamins like the vitamin A, vitamin K.
Right.
But biotin is very good. Folate and vitamin B12 are the other two that I would recommend. And because growth is in cycles, restoration is in cycles. I have to say that a lot of these things can be rebooted when your metabolic health is on track.
And that is key. How do we know when it's off? And how can we get it back on track?
You know, your metabolic health is, if V is still online, she will appreciate this because she's into science and chemistry and all of these things. So you all remember back in science class when we were learning about ATP and chromosomes and the mitochondria, and they showed you, well, at least when I was in school, they showed you the cell and they opened up the cell and they showed you all the little activity that was going on in there. Well, here we are now as grown folk needing to remember that science lesson. Metabolic health has a lot to do with mitochondria and how our body is transferring ATP, transferring energy throughout the body. So let me break that down. When we eat, the primary goal for us is for our food to convert into energy.
Correct.
Energy. Yes. When the food converts into energy, then it sends, here it is, God again, with just this genius way of creating the body. It knows how to send messages to the proper places, to the brain, to your glands, to your thyroid, to all of these different areas, to your stomach, your digestive tract, to know exactly what to do. But we start fatiguing. When you know your metabolic health is starting to slow down, it's sluggish. Your body's not digesting as much. You're bloating, you hold on to food. The bowel movements are very irregular or non-existent. Headaches start to happen. Sometimes we break out into different skin, a skin rash. You can start losing hair, or your hair gets thin, your nails get brittle. It will affect your sleep. Sometimes you can have insomnia. These are ways that you know your metabolic function is off. And particularly for Black and brown people, it's very important because we are prone to a lot of cardiovascular issues. Heart health issues, and that is linked to your metabolic health. We have a lot of metabolic syndrome, a lot of metabolic disorder, high blood pressure, cholesterol, fatty liver, kidney disease, all of these things. Again, we're ecosystem. All of these things are combined. So the first thing I tell anybody, regardless of what they feel is going on, metabolic health, getting your metabolic health in rebooted That's food. Fresh vegetables. Try to eat all the colors of the rainbow. Try things you've never tried before, because typically, we rotate our vegetables. So we probably average maybe 5 to 10 vegetables. Trying some new exotic vegetables that will introduce our body to more vitamins, minerals, enzymes, phytonutrients, lean proteins, which our body needs, whether you are a meat eater or not, making sure that we're eating ample protein throughout the day. If we're not getting all of what we need through food, then the supplementation and vitamin comes into place, like the vitamins that we're talking about. Getting outside when you can, because the sun is a big part. Teach us on the screen, Dr. V, about the sun and mitochondria. Like I'm sure she knows these things, but getting into the sun again, put your sunscreen on. Black does crack, and it does burn. Sunscreen with dear, it may crack a little, but it does.
But it will burn.
It will burn. Getting into the sun, that helps to, it's almost like when you're got a misfire and you get these two wires together to create a spark. Direct vitamin D is a big part of that. Moving our bodies. Those are just some small, that's kind of like the bullet point in how to get your metabolic health under control. And when that happens, especially as we're getting older, then it will kind of start eliminating a lot of the symptoms of what we're experiencing. Getting enough fiber in our body as we get older, which is necessary. Bowel movement every day, which are necessary.
Yes. And this sounds like, and I'm already going to speak it into existence, we need a part 2. It's more interactive.
I'm sorry.
No. But this is just showing us how much information is out there, which is why I wanted you to talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we are not just a spiritual, we don't have just a spiritual component. We have a physical, and we have to take care of this physical body.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And we have mental, emotional. We have to take care of our emotional and mental health.
We do.
So no. This has been very, very informative, as you can see by the comments. So we definitely need to get a part 2 in the works. And V says, "Come on now, say that again for the people in the back."
Absolutely.
How can we really be effective for the kingdom if we're not effective, in this realm?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's the most frustrating thing. It is the most frustrating thing to have the desire, have the will, have the zeal, but the body does not comply.
Exactly.
That is a frustrating feeling, to have a purpose and to have a mission and to be clear about it, but to have certain restrictions in the body that just won't allow you to execute it the way that you desire. And we don't have to stay that way. There's always a way around a disability, an issue.
Wow. Well, LaShanna, part 2, we will get together and make it happen. I don't know if we need to do a workshop or how we're going to do it, but we definitely need to do a part 2 so that people can ask those questions that I know that they're wanting answers to, because we all want to be healthy.
Yes, we do. Yeah,
absolutely.
Our health is out.
I commend you for taking the leap of faith to say, you know what? Okay, this injury happened to me. So now I'm going to pay it forward and help other people.
Yeah. I want to do it. Yeah. And to handle people with care, because I understand what it's like, kind of like Mephibosheth, to be dropped and to be mishandled, and for it to affect the rest of your life. I know it changed my life. God, because of God, there was a silver lining. But the negligence of one can change a person's life. So it humbles me to handle people with care, because I know what it's like to be mishandled.
Mm-hmm. And doctors, bless you for your knowledge and expertise, but some of them can be just very blunt, very like, okay, well, it's X, Y, and Z, but they're not looking at the emotional side. They don't have that compassion.
Right, right. And if you're not comfortable with that,
Here is what's wrong.
You have the right to seek another respectfully. Respectfully. Some people based on
Absolutely.
personality are fine with that. If it doesn't sit well with you, you respectfully have the right to go and
To
seek
go to someone else.
Yeah.
Because I had a doctor that one day went to her, and I thought, wait, am I going to believe her report or am I going to believe the report of the Lord? Now, wait a minute. This is it's contradicting, you know. So I said, okay, I don't think I want you to handle me anymore. Not that I wanted someone to coddle and, you know, make it seem like it's a big major deal, but some compassion and say, are you understanding? You know, let me give you some resources. Let me point you in the direction, you know, where you can get more information to be more comfortable, you know. But that's why I love you, LaShanna, because of the compassion that you have always had since I met you way back in the day.
Young college girl.
Yes, 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 yes. But we're not going to take but a few more questions. So whoever has questions, please post them in the comment section for LaShanna. The one I do want to ask is, um, what would you say is the first hurdle that someone has to overcome to begin a healthier lifestyle or walk?
For many people, it's inflammation. Outside of getting out of your own way mentally, or maybe because maybe because of a backstory or something that someone has done or said. A lot of times it's inflammation. Over 65% of the population deal with inflammation in some kind of way. Arthritis, autoimmunity, sometimes not even being aware that your body is inflamed, stress, genetic inherences, a lot of things that we deal with on a daily basis can be contributing to inflammation. And what happened, the reason why inflammation is such an important thing to know is when your body is inflamed, it doesn't matter what you do that may be right, your body will fight against it, thinking that it's helping itself, because all it knows is that it is on high alert with this inflammation. And so the first thing that you would want to do, I say just take small steps. You know, if you're not doing anything at all, walk. Just walk a little bit. I'm not going to tell you to go into the gym and hit heavy weights and all of that. And that's, you know, that's just not realistic. Think about where you are and what you are doing or not doing, and start with one thing. Adding more water intake. Water alone is an element that we underestimate. It reduces over 285 biochemical reactions in the body just by water.
Really?
Yes, water is extremely important.
Wow.
So going back to the things, so we're so information driven now that we're looking for big things to do when it's just the little things that can make a big difference. Mobility is essential as we get older. We need muscle to fight immunity. We need muscle to help us age well. We need muscle to help prevent injury. We need muscle for our metabolism. So doing little things, walking a few times a day, just start with a few minutes, adding more water, Get regular doctor checkups. And I will say, because we assume that everybody has insurance, everybody may not have insurance. Look into independent clinics that will take you, and also look into these mobile health clinics that oftentimes are supported by the CDC or Medicaid and Medicare, and they may have free health screenings, different things like that. Just little small things that you can do, that, and getting sleep. Ooh.
That's a big one.
Getting sleep, you all, determines your age span, your lifespan, can determine the cellular health of your brain. Getting sleep can determine inflammation in your body. Getting sleep can determine how your body is able to go through its regeneration while you're supposed to be asleep. And listen, I know more than anybody, you give me a good Netflix series,
and you are
I am tempted to binge and watch.
in the morning. Yes.
But as I am getting older and I am in perimenopause, and I have to watch my blood glucose and blood sugar and all that kind of stuff, I try to be in the bed. And my mother's side, those eldest people, they are just notorious for being up late at night. So I'm trying to reverse that generational gift and be in the bed at least by 10. If I can be in the bed by 10 o'clock on most nights, and then if I can do it earlier night, once a week, then I'm in the sleep. We underestimate the benefit of sleep. You gotta sleep. Your health and your lifespan depend on your sleep. So I'll just put those out there.
I mean, but think about what you just said. You said start with the small things.
Yeah.
Water, movement,
walking, sleep, mobility.
You know, mobility. Those
even
are
if you're bedridden or you're handicapped. Think about the parts of your body that do have functionality. We used to laugh at the program on Channel 8, the PBS Sit and Be Fit lady. Listen, I vouch for that.
Exactly.
You need to sit and be fit if that's what it takes.
Exactly. And the good thing is what that show is about is showing you an alternative. Because not everybody can get up and jog in place.
Yeah. Or you might have an arthritic flare. You may have lymphedema. You may be dealing with swelling. You can be dealing with a lot of different restrictions. Yeah, and you've got to still figure out, because movement will also help to reduce the inflammation.
Wow, that's why I love you, LaShanna. Always, always just a wealth of information and knowledge. And I thank you for being willing to share with those viewers out there. And if you're watching the replay, type hashtag replay and share your comments, share your thoughts, share your questions, and I'll make sure that she gets them as well. And yes, part 2, we will work it out some kind of way to figure out how we can do it, but make it more interactive, even more so.
Yeah.
And place material in your hands.
Yes.
I'm a teacher at heart, my profession, but and we have a father who is a teacher extraordinaire with the word. So he always plays something in our hands.
Always.
So, sir, I inherited that from you.
Yeah.
Well, what are your final closing thoughts that you would like to leave with the viewers?
That being healthy is holistic. Being healthy is not just about organics. It's not just about green smoothies. It's not just about teas. It's not just about the trendy things. Everybody doesn't have the income to do those things. I call that luxury nutrition. That's not real nutrition. That's luxury nutrition. Being healthy is making sure that you're checking in mentally, that you are mentally well, that you are psychologically well, that you are physically well, you are emotionally well, you are spiritually well. Check in with those parts of you regularly to be healthy, because it's not a destination. This is a lifelong journey that will continue to evolve as we evolve.
Evolve.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Sustaining things that do not change are the facts that I need to check into every facet of my well-being.
Absolutely.
And something like unforgiveness, or let me say something like forgiving, will eliminate
Yes.
a symptom.
A lot. A lot.
So
A
there's a
lot.
lot. Just remember that you're an ecosystem. All of this works together.
So now you see why you have holistic. What is the name of your organization? Holistic
Holistically well.
Well LLC.
Yes.
Because I see the picture now that
Yes.
it's a holistic approach, not just one aspect.
Be well,
So
be
tell us
whole.
a little bit about that before we end the show.
Yes,
How can viewers
holistically well. You can go onto the online holisticallywell.co, and it's holistically with a W. So there are articles, there are blogs, there's the podcast on there. There are a lot of resources for women's health, mostly women's health, but also for men health. And then I have a program called Dear Pausy Body, which is for women who are pre-menopause, perimenopause, or post-menopause. It's a full support program for that. And the beginning of the year, we're going to start opening up some programs for our men because they have actually asked for it, and I appreciate that. So we'll have programs for our men at the beginning of 2024 as well. But you can go onto the website, and that will pretty much lead you into all of the other offerings and platforms.
And it's at the bottom of the screen, holisticallywell.co.
.co.
Yes.
.co.
.com, but co.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, LaShanna, again, thank you, my sister, for sharing the wealth of knowledge that you have gained over the years. And I'm sure all of the audience appreciates it as well. We're going to see if there are any closing questions or comments. I don't see any, but that is okay. But this has been really, really, really good, really informative.
I enjoyed talking with you.
Absolutely. Well, as I always say at the end, make sure you like, you share, tag some people that you know need to be on a healthier lifestyle journey. This may spark that or ignite that spark so that they can go ahead and make that step and go forth and have a healthier life. And also, put some comments in there. Let me know what your thoughts were and what you would like to see for part 2, how it would benefit you to receive the information because it is a lot, Shan. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. But the good thing is well equipped to inform us and teach us. And as you can tell by her personality, she is very poised and she makes it fun, but she also keeps it grounded in the word, which is what I love the most.
Gotcha. Yes, he's the chief physician.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Well, again, thank you for watching another conversation with Kelly. I appreciate all of your listening ears. And Dr. Bertha says, thank you. I've enjoyed the program. I'm not driving so bad on vitamins, etc. I will view the website.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Very good. And we have some awesome guests coming up. I always just give you a little tease at the end of the podcast, but I promise you, you don't want to miss it. So you have to subscribe so that you'll be notified when we do have a live podcast. And can you believe this is season 4?
I didn't realize we already had 4 seasons. That's amazing.
To God be the glory.
Wow.
And this was not something I started out saying, oh, I want to be a podcaster. I think I
Right.
But with the footsteps of a good man or order or woman
Yes,
by
yes,
God, he will make the path smooth, plain, and
yep,
straight.
yes.
You may have some bumps and lumps and some rocks in the road, but he
Probably will.
definitely
Yeah.
will make sure that you have what you need. So I'm just encouraging the viewers out there, if God has given you something to do, whether it's take charge of your health, whether it's start writing a book, whatever it is, he will always be right there with you. So
Yeah.
again, thank you for watching us. And this has been another conversation with Kelly. And again, don't forget, please subscribe so you will know what's coming around the corner. All right, until next time, you all be blessed.